Hey guys, my name is Lilly and today I want to do a Q&A video on my experience of Naked and Afraid. So now I'm going to go through the questions of my last video, and there were a couple of really good questions and I cannot answer all of them, but I will try to answer the most interesting ones. So the first question is if Naked and Afraid is scripted, or is it fake, or is it real? Now, I can only speak for my episode, and I was there as a participant, and I can witness that Naked and Afraid is absolutely real and it's not scripted. Nobody gives you a script where you have to read off sentences. Nobody says to you what you have to say. So you can say what you want, you can say it when you want and how you want. Also, nobody is telling you where you have to build your shelter or what survival techniques that you should apply. You can always decide this yourself. So I have selected together with Sam where we want to build our shelter. We have decided when we want to go hunting, or when we set the traps, or which traps we build, or which types of edible plants we were collecting. So the survival part was completely on our own. The camera crew is there to film our experience so that you guys can also see what we went through. So we are not alone, that's true. Also there's medical assistance, so if you have a wound that needs to be treated, it will be treated. So there's medical treatment and you can see it, they don't make a secret out of it. So in our episode you could see that Sam got treated by the medic. And also in other episodes you can see it, sometimes they need stitches. I think it's important to apply first aid, because if a wound can get infected, that can be a problem not only for the survival challenge but also afterwards for the health of the survivors and participants. So I think it's a smart idea to give the survivors medical treatment. But still, besides that medical treatment, I think that the show is absolutely real. The survival experience doesn't get more real than this. If I was to make a survival show, I would do it exactly the same like Naked and Afraid, maybe with a little bit more clothing on. But yeah, that's the principle of Naked and Afraid. Actually, that's the second question that I want to answer. So a lot of people say, why is Naked and Afraid naked? Why can't you give them loincloth or moccasins, or I don't know, underwear at least? So it's an extreme survival challenge. It's Olympia for survivalists, and with being naked you can actually see how the participants deteriorate over time. You can see that they are getting thinner and thinner, and with the clothes on you would not see that. So I think the naked part is first of all a challenge, an additional challenge for the survivors. So you have to be really good and better at surviving. And also for the viewer, it's easier to see how much more weight they are losing. Because if you have clothes on, you can only see a thin face and that's it, right? So yeah, I think that's the reason why they are doing it naked. Also, the next question was how it feels to be naked around a camera team or your partner that you never met before. I'm from Europe, so we go into the sauna naked, and then you sit with 20 naked people that you've never seen before in your life in the sauna. I also go on naked beaches, which you can find plenty in Europe. I do not have a problem with being naked, but it was a problem for me in terms of being cold and being completely exposed to the elements. Okay, the next question is coming from Gary. So is there a rule against making shoes? That would be a priority for me. Well, actually there was no need to make shoes, because I started walking barefoot 2 months before the challenge. So my feet got really thick soles, very thick skin. And actually the barefoot walking was not a problem anymore. So this is why we did not attempt to make some shoes. Especially towards the end of the challenge, I could walk over very pointy and sharp rocks. It did not hurt me anymore. So that was not our priority. And actually we had other things to worry about. So before you start making shoes, which will take you an entire day, you will rather go for firewood so that you have it warm in the night. So at a certain point you have to make decisions. Am I going to build a trap, or am I going to get firewood? Am I going to go hunting, or am I going to attempt building a grass shirt? So you have to make decisions because you don't have so much energy anymore to do it all. And you get really slow out there if you are in full ketosis. Alright, so now I want to move on to the next question. The next question was, why have we been so dirty on our challenge? First of all, we were rubbing mud on us on a regular basis. Then second, we used some ashes on our bodies so that we are protected against insects. And then also, my face has become really dirty, really black, and that's from the fire. So when you are handling the logs, you sometimes touch some coals, and then apparently I'm touching my face quite often, and then you get a black face. And I think also the smoke makes us dirty, so you just get dirty out there. And most of the time I did not have the energy to wash myself, and then you don't care about it anymore because the only thing you think about is surviving. And we tried to use some charcoal to brush our teeth with the finger. So that worked out, but finally we did not get a bad breath or so because we never ate carbs out there. So the teeth were not really a problem. So yeah, we were really dirty, but at some point you just stop caring anymore. It's every movement that you make is going to take some calories, and washing yourself takes a lot of calories. Actually, you do not really stink because you stop eating carbs. So when I tried to smell underneath my armpits, I was not stinking anymore. So I smelled myself, there was nothing. So it was like we were losing our scent or something. So that was really strange and very surprising to me. The next question is if Sam and I fell in love with each other. No. Sam and I, we are like a brother and a sister. We got along really well, we appreciated each other, but there's nothing more. So we are both married and happily married with our spouses, but there was nothing between us. It was just a really, how should I say, a platonic love, and I see him as my brother now, and we still have contact, we are friends, so we are writing each other on WhatsApp almost every day. So yeah, I'm glad that I have made a new friend on this show, and he's like a brother to me. Okay, the next question is coming from Jacob. He's wondering if my early vomiting in the challenge was a result of the shock to my body because of the survival situation. And I think I have to agree with him. So I was really stressed out in the first couple of days of the challenge, and in the first evening I was vomiting, and that's because I had extreme acid reflux. So I think it was the stress of being on Naked and Afraid, of being filmed by a crew that I don't know yet, and also of being naked in front of a crew, and also then you have to survive in the forest after going into a canyon, and this was a really strenuous climb down the canyon, and then we killed a rattlesnake. So there was a lot of stress in the first day, and then I was stressed out about building the fire, and then I was stressed out about making the shelter work and about getting firewood for the first night. So we all did that in like 2.5 hours. So it was super stressful, and we were working fast, and I think my body really had a small, like, I would not say shock, but maybe it was super stressed out, and then I got acid reflux. Then I tried to drink it down with a lot of water, and then I vomited out the water. So I did not vomit out any meat from the snake, and that stayed inside, but I vomited a lot of water, and it was just too much for me. My stress system was overloaded. So being in a survival situation is one thing, but also being filmed, you know, by the crew. You don't want to make any mistakes, so there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. You want to make a good impression. So it was really, I was so stressed out in the first few days, but there was no reason to be, you know. I should have trusted my capabilities more, and I should have trusted that I will make it. So I was a little bit insecure in the first few days, and that stressed me out, but there was no reason for it because I had the skills to do it. Okay, next I would like to say that... Amy, what are you doing? Next I would like to say that we are there for 3 weeks, but of course they cannot put all what happened into one episode, so only the highlights are getting shown, and that's okay. You know, it's TV format, they cannot run one episode for 10 hours, and that's how it is. So the highlights are shown, but a lot of other things did not get shown. Okay, I have to reposition my knife now because Amy is lying at the side now, so I don't want her to get hurt. This is my self-designed tracker knife, by the way. It's the Apocalypse One tracker. And yeah, if you want to support my channel, you can get this knife here at my Canadian dealer or here in Europe at my website. And you will find all of the links in the description below. Okay, so now I want to move on to the next topic. And the next topic is the crew. So the crew that we were filming with, those are really awesome people. I have the most respect for the filming crew and everybody who is working behind the scenes. They are really kind people and so professional. So it was really enjoying to see how they work together so well and how they make this episode work so that also the viewer can witness our experience in the most intense way. So I talked to the crew and they told us that they are really happy to work on Naked and Afraid because it's an exciting show which is not scripted, because the other TV shows that are scripted, they are really boring and nobody really wants to work on such a set. So Naked and Afraid, because it's real, it's also very exciting for them because they don't know what's coming. And they don't know what discussions we will have or what survival ordeals we will go through. So for them it's really exciting to work on the show, and they can see it from first hand, only a couple of meters away from us. So they really like working on Naked and Afraid. And because they are so happy about it, they also are highly motivated to make this a really good show and to show our experience from the best angles. So the crew was an awesome team. The medics were great as well, so really kind and awesome people. They have a good heart. I can only, say the best about the crew out there. And they are suffering too, actually, and for them it's dangerous too. So in one scene, when we tried to pin down the head of the rattlesnake, the rattlesnake actually tried to escape underneath the log where the cameraman was standing. And you can actually see the foot of the cameraman when he was standing on the log and filming down on the rattlesnake. It was actually closer to him than to me. So I was really worried about the cameraman getting bitten soon. So I tried to scoop away the snake with the stick from him towards me so that I can then pin it down with the stick. So for them it's also quite dangerous because they can also step into a snake. Sometimes they are focusing on us with the camera or with the audio, and then they walk around us without looking at the ground. So they are actually much more exposed to snake bites than we are, the contestants. So it takes a lot of mental strength even for the crew to be out there with us and to also endure all of those dangers. So I only have the greatest respect for the crew and also for the medics. They are there for filming our episode and to capture our experience on camera, but also the medics are keeping us safe. So I have the deepest respect for the team and they are doing a really, really good job. Okay, so now the next question is, how long did it take me to come back from the challenge? So afterwards, how long did it take me to regain my strength and weight? I have to say it took quite a long time. So after I came home from Naked and Afraid, I was just lying on the couch for 1 month straight. I was only eating and drinking. And it took me 1 month until I regained all of my weight, or almost all of it. So I'm still missing 2 kilograms of muscle weight, and also right now I'm shooting a bow which is drawing less weight. So the bow that I used on Naked and Afraid had 35 pounds, but right now I'm shooting 30 pounds because I have lost a lot of my shoulder width and muscle strength. And this also brings me to the last question. Would I do such a thing again? And I have to say right now, I would not do it again. And the reason is I'm just too thin for this challenge. So for some kind of reason, I cannot gain weight. Maybe it has to do with the thyroid, I don't know. So I'm really bad at gaining weight. And I think I would do the challenge again if I would gain 10 kilograms of more weight. Then I would do it again. But if I cannot gain weight, there's no way that I will do something like this again, because I think it can get a little bit dangerous if you're getting too thin. And I was on the brink of getting too thin. And after I watched my own episode, I have to say I did not like how I looked in the end. So for self-preservation, I have to say I will probably not be on the challenge anymore or try another challenge, because for my health it's not good. Now for other people who are healthy, I think that's no problem. So you can fast for 3 weeks as a healthy person. I don't think it will harm your health, but the condition that I have is a little bit tricky and I don't want to put my health at risk, and that's the truth. So at the end of the day, I would like to say that I do not regret being on Naked and Afraid. It was a great experience. It was my biggest dream that I could once try out my survival skills for real, and it worked out and I made it through the challenge. I made it to day 21 and I'm really happy about that. I'm really proud of myself that I made it through, even though I'm super thin and even though I have this thyroid condition. So now in future I want to show you more videos on YouTube, and if you want to see me surviving in the forest and training my survival skills on YouTube, then please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Hold up.